What is going on, y'all? What is good? Let's see if we can get some people in the room. Good afternoon, y'all. I like to start things promptly, so we're going to let some people come into the room. We're just going to let some people come into the room today. What's going on, everybody? We're going to wait for a few people to get into the room before we start the interview. So we'll let this play in the background. Hey. All right, how do I close this thing? Oh boy. Let's see. All right. All right, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Good evening. You guys just watched a clip from Real Housewives of Atlanta with Carnival Spice. So if you guys don't remember that clip, it went kind of viral because there was a controversy about a twerk versus a wine. So today I'm really excited to have on Shakera, the founder of Carnival Spice. They're doing some absolutely amazing things, and I just wanted to do an AWM spotlight interview live so you also get to interact with these phenomenal people that are doing things for the culture. So I'm just going to have Shakera on. She's already submitted her request, and here we go. We are going to Spice. Let's see if we can get her to connect. Hey there.
We're live.
Hi. Hello.
Hold on, let me push back my camera here.
Yeah, same thing here. I got to adjust. I hope my background is okay. I was going to do my interview in my office, but my cat is sick and she uses the litter box a lot, so I didn't want people to hear it constantly raking back and forward. So this is what y'all going to get today. You guys are going to get the bedroom.
Natural lights. What time is it over there?
It's 3:04, but I have this is my little vanity, and I have like mirrors all the way around, so it looks good. So we'll just go ahead and start off the interview. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell us what you do, where you're located, where you're from, what you do professionally.
Right, that's a whole lot. Let's
yeah.
My name is Shakera, also known as simply Shakera, because that is a part of my journey. How to live a life of passion with simplicity and good vibes. I'm also the founder of Carnival Spice. We are a Caribbean fitness and entertainment group out here in cold Toronto, Canada.
Wow.
And, yes, just navigating this lockdown from, operating 100% in-person events and workshops and classes to now transferring everything virtually while still giving that Caribbean Carnival essence, the energy, educating the masses on our beautiful Carnival arts, and just, empowering artists of color to perform and just believe in their talents and gifts and being able to share that with the world.
Yeah. That's amazing. So what exactly do you do like professionally aside from Carnival Spice? And like, how did you get into creating this phenomenal troupe?
Oh, great question. Everything kind of coincides, right? My background is in more in the health science space.
Mm,
And when I completed university, I pulled a lot of the physicality and the fitness elements from my degree, and transferred that over into a pot. I call it a pot because I created a pot of things that I just love. I love dance. I've been dancing ever since I was a child. And then developed a commercial dance career from that, which is a whole other story that we don't have to go into. But yeah, my love for fitness and dance all developed from different spaces, and I put them in a pot of elements that I loved that I wanted to pursue further. And so 8 years ago, in 2013, because we're celebrating in 2 weeks, I founded
congratulations.
I'm so excited, my baby's going to grade what? Grade 3? Just particularly my experience as a commercial dancer, I'd show up to events and there were nobody that looked like me, or that was on a good day. That's if there was even jobs available.
Mhm.
There was a lot of diversity challenges, especially around that time, and I wanted to fill that gap and create the community that I know that I needed when I was a dancer, and create opportunities for people that looked like me. And here we are 8 years later. We started out as an entertainment company that I shouldn't say just, but we offered Caribbean dance performances for birthdays, weddings, festivals, TV, all that kind of stuff in mass, really bringing the carnival energy and the masquerade to different spaces and different audiences. And that evolved into adding a fitness section because people were always wondering, like, how do we move like you ladies? I like that song. Is there a way to dance to it? And a lot of the ladies are very well fit, and oh my gosh, I want abs like that. Just all this different chatter from the folks that we would engage with. And we created a fitness program. And so the classes now, again, attract different people from all walks of life. And we bring them to a wonderful space where they could just let loose, feel the Caribbean vibes, and just get on, right? Without judgment. Just the same kind of energy that we find on the road. No judgment, just good vibes, good people. And, we're now doing that all on an online space and just really interacting with all of our members globally. So it's great. We're
It's a
excited.
positive space. It seems like you guys are creating this amazing space virtually and in person pre-COVID to where
Yeah.
people can enjoy the culture and they can get like a little taste of that judgment-free experience, that exhilaration that we all feel on the road. And you guys have the charisma and the energy to bring it into people's homes. And that's just incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love how you always phrase things so well. I love that. We bring it into people's homes. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
Tracy.
bringing it into the people's homes, a taste of
Yes.
Carnival. You
And
guys
we
are
need
just
it now more than
transforming.
ever, right? Like
Yeah.
it's really devastating just what's been happening on a global level and on a carnival level, just not knowing when the next one is gonna be. But I always say, carnival lives within us. So we just really have to really bring that out whenever we can and engage it as best as we can. Whether it's a
Mm-hmm.
Zoom call, whether it's a WhatsApp, whether it's Instagram live, keeping
Mm-hmm.
the soca vibes alive, supporting our artists, whether it's musicians, DJs, dancers, and just elevating the culture. This is the time definitely when technology is like at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
So why not?
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think a lot of creatives and just the carnival, the Caribbean industry as a whole, is trying to figure out how they can continue to spread the message and awareness of soca, Caribbean music, and the culture. And it seems like you guys are just experts at pivoting. You guys went viral on TikTok. You guys now have 50,000 followers. You guys are spreading awareness to the culture, because one of the things that we see a lot is we see the same exact people every time at Carnival. And the industry is always asking how to bring in these fresh faces. And I just feel like Carnival Spice has been in the forefront with pivoting and bringing more awareness to people from other walks of life, different cultures, belief systems, or what have you. That's just bringing that awareness. This is how we're going to get those fresh faces on the road. This is how we're going to get more people into enjoying the cultural experience. So when I've been watching your platform for a while, and I was just like, I started to have all of these questions, and I was like, duh, why don't you just ask her to do an interview? So I'm like, duh. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been doing that anyway. So that is just amazing. I think if you guys aren't following Carnival Spice, please do. They're doing phenomenal work. They're currently based in Toronto. Yeah, they're based in Toronto, but they're literally spreading love and awareness of the culture from your everyday person all the way to corporate America. But we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
working.
Yeah, we're gonna get to that because I just love you guys.
Hey, I see Spice Fam in the chat. Yeah, yeah. Big up.
Yay. And hello to everybody that has come into the room. Thank you so much for joining us in this space. So the very beginning of this live, I aired the first couple of minutes from your YouTube clip from Real Housewives of Atlanta. How did that happen? And like tell me how all that went down and what that was like, because that had to have been like really interesting.
It's still an
I think you have some stories to tell. Spill the tea.
I haven't even shared, I haven't shared the pre-episode airing process publicly yet. So I'll try to bear it down because it's a bit stacked. But yeah, you'll get the first public story.
Yes.
That Real Housewives experience was definitely one of those moments where you knew something was for you. And that first was the highlight and joy, because I get an email to my personal email account, not even the Carnival Spice account, my Simply Shakera website, and it was like, hey, Bravo TV wants to film with you, and I'm like, Bravo TV, what? Spam, but I'll still open it. You never know what's in there. Just check, read the intro. We're coming to Toronto, Canada for Caravana, and the ladies are gonna participate. So I got closer. I'm like, okay, we're reading.
Like, wait, what? Like, this is real?
This is real. And then when I saw Real Housewives, I'm like, hold on, not my Real Housewives, because I'm actually a fan of the show. I feed it. I love it. I know not everybody does, but here we are. And then they're like, Tanya, she's going to be hosting the girls for a trip. And then I clicked that again. I'm like, Tanya, she's Canadian. So, okay, let me keep reading. So I'm going down this email. And they're like, yeah, Shakera, would love if you, when the ladies could come, you can, teach them some tips and tricks about Carnival, whether it's dance moves, costume picking, just the scene in general. They followed up with not only just doing that intro, but pulling out excerpts from my blog. So they did research. And the blog that they pulled, I have a blog called simplyshakera.com, where I just kind of share my lifestyle and different things as a Black creator, Black entrepreneur. And I did a Toronto Carnival guide literally days before, just introducing different vendors that sell Carnival attire, accessories, etc., showcasing the brands. And they pulled excerpts from my blog, just saying, we want to look at this, talk about that, da da da. So it was a Shakera, this is for you email. What you got, And the turnaround time between that email and film date was like a matter of days.
Oh my God.
Yeah, days, and what's made it worse is like Toronto Carnival Week, we're slammed over here. Whether it's performances, interviews, all that stuff. Like it's round the clock from Monday till the road. And so all I can think about, oh my gosh, I hope I have time. Like forget even wanting to do it. Is this real? What comes with it? Can I even physically do it? And it wasn't necessarily where I could, ask around, check availabilities from the team, because they asked for me. And it worked out. The day that they were coming into Toronto is when they wanted to film. I literally had like a 3-hour window because I had a shoot in the morning and then our king and queens in the night. So I was like, all right, we're going to do this. We can shoot it in 3 hours. Bet. Get there. And it was like the second we arrived, like camera action. There was no scripts, just so everyone's aware. No script. It was definitely reality. I didn't know who was coming to the class. Even further, I didn't have the songs that I gave them to use wasn't cleared in time. So I literally was handed 3 songs and was told, make some magic with it. So literally everything was on the fly. You had to either be ready or you weren't going to be ready. And so that also added like a personal confidence to me as just an artist. and a mover shaker, you know, you just being able to adapt to the scene. People walk in, cameras everywhere, you're mic'd up, so you can't cuss, you can't do things, you're on.
Right.
You know, you're on. They can hear you, and they have the authority to pull anything they capture in that 3 hours. But the fast forward now to the actual filming, it was awesome. The ladies were great. They actually took a lot from it because we spent a lot of time. We got to talk, we got to dance, we just run jokes. I love Portia and Marlo. They were my favorite people.
Really?
All the time. I expected Portia to be like just lit, and she was. But what I really loved is she picked up the style very well, and you kind of saw that in a lot of the clips. And then Marlo, she was actually the only one outside of Tanya that's been to a carnival before. She went to Trinidad Carnival.
Oh, she was well rehearsed.
Well rehearsed, so she knew the context and she could dialogue with me and run jokes. So it was really awesome. And then the aftermath was just a whole other thing for not just me, but for Carnival Spice, for the culture, for Toronto. And you know, Tanya, she's also as much as she's a Carnivalian, she's a boss babe. Like, she knows that business stuff very well, and she was really putting a lot of things together to further elevate the culture with events and just cross collaboration and stuff like that. So it's really unfortunate that we couldn't see it all play out, but we were ready. We had things in motion. Like 2020 was supposed to be completely different, and you know, we grieved that period, but it's just worth mentioning that how, you know, there's so much growth that we can do as a community, and just brainstorming, creating great ideas, and leveraging all of the assets that we have in the culture. You know, Toronto Carnival is one of the biggest festivals outside of the Caribbean, you know, and I personally don't think it gets the respect that it deserves on a global standpoint. So, you know, this definitely not just highlighted my company and me as an instructor, but, you know, again, Toronto was showcased. Toronto Carnival was showcased, and the whole Caribbean carnival culture as a whole. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
That's an amazing story. So are you still in touch with anybody over at Bravo and the real
Bravo? But yeah, Tanner, now Tanner and me, we're like, yeah, we homies now. Like, you can't,
that's good.
You can't experience something that so organically and just not connect. We even did Instagram Live a couple months back where she jumped on kind of like this, and we did a class, and she brought some of the carnival pieces from the RHOA. Like, it was a thing, you know. But the pandemic makes things challenging, but we definitely stay in touch, and, you know, just hope for things to die down and we can actually create again and put some of the plans in motion.
Gotcha. That is an incredible story. It's so crazy how, you know, opportunities, they hit you and you're just looking at it and like, this ain't real, and you're like, holy crap, it's whoa, and it's like, and my mind is blown, because when I think about corporate America, or I think about, you know, large entities like Bravo, or, you know, major news networks, I don't think anybody's doing anything last minute. You know, you think that they're planning this stuff. Hi, we have this production we're going to start in about 8 weeks. We'd like to talk to you about, you know what I mean? So we can go, and then they're like, you know, it's crazy how they still do things very last minute, and all this money is involved. And look at the magic that you were able to help them create. Man. You know, you made that show, you know what I mean? So for when there was that controversy about twerk versus wine, that specific clip, how do you feel like you were able to actually help educate other people about their misconceptions about the wine versus the twerk and the cultural dance?
Well, two things like that. God bless editing, because I'm so proud that they actually incorporated, because it was, again, 3 hours of just content, great content. Like, it was just, what do you take? What do you pull and summarize into 2 minutes to really showcase everything? And they used that, and I'm like, yes,
oh yes,
thank you, because that was like the main point, and that created like a whole dialogue. Like, we talked for a while after I actually physically said that, or verbally said that to the lady, and we talked about it, and I'm glad that created dialogue on social media, because you had, like, I would say, American culture getting like an uproar. Well, we don't twerk. We twerk all the time. We twerk the soca. We twerk the hip hop. And then the Caribbeans respectively said, no, what we're not going to do is twerk. You know, it's wine. Like, really understand the difference. And there's a physical difference. The actual dance moves are different, right? But the
Mm-hmm.
mindset is different as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so happy that we even had that conversation, and I was able to bring that forward, because it's important to understand, like, you know, the wine has a historical connection, moving the hips around in a circular motion, similar to like the earth. And you know, it's deep. It's deep, and it's important to be
Spiritual.
specific. Yes,
Yeah.
the spirituality of it, you know. And twerking has its own history. I haven't done my research on it, so I won't speak to that, but I could physically see the difference in it. So I thought it was very integral for folks to know that, and I'm so glad that they included that part in the clip.
That's amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
next question. See, this is why I wrote all my questions down, because I can scroll on you all day. So tell me about like the different women that you have on your team. I know you have a performance team and you have a fitness team. And you and I both touched a little bit about how like diverse these women are from different backgrounds, from, you know, their cultural backgrounds to their professionalism. Can you tell me what
Sure.
they're
The dream
like?
team, man. The dream team. Love. If any of
Yeah.
you are in the chat, jump in.
There are some amazing
Carnival Spice
performers.
team. It's beautiful because it's just like our Spice Fam community. It's a mix of just folks from different places, different backgrounds, different sizes. You know, we have everyone's local that's on the actual performance team. So I should stress that everyone's from Toronto, and they're either a dancer or a carnival lover, or someone that likes both and just wants a space to connect and really just work on their craft. But I love the mix of that, because everyone comes in from their backgrounds, whether they're in the office from 9 to 5, or you're a carnival model teacher. We have one of our performers who's like a forensic scientist, and
Wow.
she's in our mats and jumping up at events with Spice, you know. And from all these different aspects, they all come through the Spice doors and get the same training. So we run, people don't see that, they see the finished product, but you know, all the team members, they go through a training session with me, they get mentorship. I'm very strict on not strict, but very mindful of the work that we select. I ensure that, you know, we're paid respectively. People always think that, you know, oh, we're just having fun. It's no, we're having fun, but we're working as well, right? So making sure that that mindset is there, that, you know, respect the mass, respect the talent, respect the art form, all in one.
Absolutely.
And they just deliver and just bring this vision of life and help us to continue pushing the mission. And they're just so awesome in like what they do as individuals. Like that's one thing Carnival Spice is known for, like the energy, professionalism, the style, and yeah, it's just the team just really brings that to life.
That's awesome. So somebody asked, is Spice mass a mass band? Is Carnival Spice a mass band?
Right? That's the
Yeah.
challenge. That's one of the myths that we hit often. Because of our name, and then if you come to our Instagram page, let's say any social media page, you see folks in costumes, right? So something like what we do is so unique in general. There's not a lot of performing arts groups that specialize in Caribbean carnival. So there's that there's that barrier I guess sometimes we're faced with, because some people who aren't familiar with the culture will be like, oh, you're samba dancers, oh, are you going to Brazil Carnival? And then you have to insert education. No, there's a difference, and that just allows for more dialogue and content, right? And that's the point, to share the information. Then you see our page and you think, oh, maybe we're a mass band. No, we don't produce any costumes. We focus on the movement of the costumes, bringing the costumes to life. That's what masqueraders do, but we just add a little more technique and a little more structure to any of our engagements, performances, etc. And then, of course, our name is Carnival Spice, so there's sometimes people think we're a restaurant. We often get called Caribbean Spice often. That's like my biggest pet peeve. You'll get an eye roll if I hear it. But it's been happening so often now that I just kind of go, no, that's not it. You know, get the high voice. No. But it happens, you know, and this is why, you know, we really ask for everyone's support and just amplifying what we do, because it's so unique still 8 years later. And to answer your question, Siva, we're a fitness and performance group. That is like that's the short form answer. but we do a lot of work in the community as well. So I don't want to overload you with all of that, but yes, we work with kids, we work in corporate settings, we work on stages for productions. You know, it's just a diverse audience, but the core of it is offering dance movement and dance fitness.
Dope. So one of the biggest things that really wanted me to do an interview with you is I was watching like your TikToks, and I saw TikToks from corporate events. You know, and when I think corporate, I think very white, stuck up, closed-minded, loafers and a tie, they could probably go to Catholic church, super lame, just corny, So my biggest thing is, what has it been like for you working for events in the corporate world?
It's actually really, for me, I'm sure my team will have different responses, but for me, it's really fun because that's such a prime audience to crack, because in those rooms, it's a lot of people, and I'm going to break this down. There's a lot of people in those rooms that already come in with pre-notion of what they're going to expect, right? Whether it's stereotypes, whether it's what they've seen on TV, whether it's something they've engaged with at a festival, but they don't know, right? So they're going to come in and it might be a negative pre-notion or it might be a positive one. We don't know, but we just know that we're ready to change your mind and shift your gears into that feeling that we get on the road, that who cares what is happening right now? It's a judgment-free zone. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to learn. I'm going to embrace it. I'm going to engage it. So we'll walk into like a Bank of America you guys have, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure. So
we have those.
Royal Bank of Canada, for example, like one of the big banks, we hosted a performance for like their office of like over 200 staff members back in in-person days, and you see two masqueraders rolling up into this bank's office space and doing the thing. And, it really speaks to our style, right? We're definitely mindful of all audiences. So we put out like a standard dance set to achieve cohesiveness, to really drive the dance technique home. And then the energy now we amplify and make it fun and engaging. And, the person with the stiff face or the screw up face, in minutes, that's melting. You can't help but just feel alive and excited when you see the dancers, regardless if you had a myth or pre-notion in your head. And then it's fun. Like, usually the ones that are the most judgmental are the ones that we change the most and allow them to embrace the most, because they probably have never experienced something like this. And here we are just rolling up into their workspace, and it's really exciting, because you made a difference in that moment. Whether you educated somebody or you brought joy to somebody through your culture, that difference was made. And that's why that unlocking is so fulfilling for me, as an artist.
I think it's amazing. I can't imagine what it's like to go into this room and you see, Nancy with her pearls on and she's got her face turned up. And then within a few moments, next thing you know, you see her riled up and excited. And I can imagine,
at the front of the line, you hear me?
Yeah, like trying to get a lesson on how to whine and move and wants to wave a flag. Like, you guys are literally transforming minds and hearts within the little bit of time that you have together. But you're also not only just promoting the culture, but you're additionally normalizing being a masquerader. Yeah. You have a troupe of professional women, right? One's a forensic scientist, and they see these professional women, because you guys are so nicely organized, promoting the culture. And, I can imagine, these are the same people, these same business entities that have these undercover masqueraders that are afraid to talk about that mass life because of, negative, stereotypes about the culture and the carnival experience.
Conduct, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
We love getting, sometimes, we'll get an email or like a LinkedIn or some kind of message on social, be like, hey, we saw you at the event today. Thank you for just bringing our culture to life. They might not have connected with us in person, but they went the extra mile to let us know that they felt seen, you know, they
Yeah.
felt appreciated, acknowledged in us just being there, you know. So there is
Yeah.
the connection with folks that aren't aware of the culture, don't look like us, you know, never heard of Carnival, never heard of soca. What is this song besides, you know, feeling hot, 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 or follow the leader, you know, really introducing them. But then you have a whole other world of people that feel included and feel seen that don't have these opportunities ever. And here we are being in this space and showcasing the culture in such a great way, great in my opinion. um and it's very encouraging, right? You just want to continue to see that, and
Yeah.
that creates more conversation and more opportunities for other artists coming up to do the same thing or similar.
It would be so amazing if one day, and I'm about to retire, for you guys to be able to even participate, or, you know, military events. I think we have a Caribbean Culture Month. It's like in June. Is it June?
Oh wow.
And like we had stuff, not a whole lot of stuff going on, but I think it would be just great because we have a whole bunch of military. We're under a lot of undercover masqueraders. You know, a lot
Oh
of negative
yeah.
perceptions about the Caribbean culture. I've heard stories about people, leaders in the military that have been reprimanded because they were seen in a carnival costume, or they were seen
Wow.
feting at a carnival, and their conduct was unbecoming. Entities like yours, just to have some kind of presentation like that, the way that you guys execute the presentation along with costume selection, and even the way that you just to introduce to people and just let people know that it's true. And here's an example. It's not just coming out of just the masquerader's mouth when they're standing on a red carpet explaining themselves. But do you remember that display on Caribbean Culture from like, oh yeah, that's what what are you gonna
Yes.
say? I wish we had more Carnival Spices, more troops like yours, like
Hopefully
everywhere.
in the
So
near future we working, so you never know, right?
yeah, I wish nothing but blessings on your troops.
And hopefully
Seriously.
be inspiring other groups, like just to really be mindful of all of those elements and still lean in on your craft. And I
Yeah.
know that's one thing that I notice a difference. Like we our style is very unique to what's most popular in the soca scene.
Hmm.
I notice, whether it's our dance style and just overall, if we're gonna be super candid, you know, workout, wind up, all of that stuff. Like, I love me a good workout and I love me a good wind up. Don't follow me on the road. That's my day. That's my day off, actually. Just let me live my life. Peace
Hmm.
out, you know? And there's so many different ways to share the art form, right? There is technique, there is wind up moments. Like, there's a mix of all. Like, why not? We can embrace all of them, right?
Hmm.
All the different representation, but we should also support all the different representation too. Even like the
Right.
classical modern aspects of Carnival that, you know, bring traditional mass to life. Like, we need more support of that style of representation as well. Like, so there's just so many different areas.
Hmm.
And my hope for the culture is that we embrace all areas equally, you know.
Yeah. Cool. So, what challenges have you had aside from COVID? I think COVID is been a challenge for everything, but overall for Carnival Spice, like what has been some of the biggest challenges that you have, and how have you overcome them?
Ooh. Well, I shared a couple earlier in terms of just you know, I guess as people are more familiar with our company and what we do, that no, let me shift that. Since we're fresh off the tail of the different representations in soca culture, one of the
Mhm.
biggest challenges I face is, and the team I would agree with me, is having to demystify a lot of these stereotypes head on. Not even just in corporate settings, just in all settings. You'll get it in an email like, make sure that, you know, the costumes are da 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 da, or do you know what kind of music is good? Like, there's already like that. There's a barrier right there in the email before we even get to the event, right? That it's a little off-putting at first, but when you hear it a few times, you're prepared for it now. So that's kind of also helped us develop as a company to really define our showcases and make them available for all different audiences.
Mhm.
That's one. Two, I would say awareness. Like, we make a lot of impact, and that's more important to us than, I would say, numbers. But numbers help, especially on the social media. If you see our stuff, not to say you have to follow all those things, but share a post. It takes like 30 seconds, and not even just Carnival Spice. I want to speak on behalf of just artists and content creators in the community.
Mm-hmm.
A share can make our work that we're so passionate about and we're really committed to the community for, it can help amplify the message and the mission even more. So that would be, I think, a challenge that I've noticed. I don't know the particular reason for it, so I haven't been able to really focus on that, but it's just something I'm aware of. But to how we overcome that, just continue doing the work, being consistent. Real Housewives is such a great example of where consistency will take you, because that opportunity came about from just us showing up in general, just showing up in Toronto, showing up globally through the blog, for example, or what have you. And then I would say, any other challenges? Not really. The music is amazing, so we don't have any choreography challenges. We always try to produce fresh content with the fresh music that comes every year. And just being, again, mindful of our audience. That's a lot. That's easier said. That's a lot more challenging than one would think, because we have just so much diverse people that we serve. And you spoke on TikTok, for example, right? TikTok, the algorithm on TikTok is so quick, like, so you don't even know who's seeing your stuff. You just get put into the categories and you're opened up to the world. So we get people from all over the world hitting us up like, oh, we saw your TikTok, great work. So it's great to be able to create content that reaches so many different people and affects them differently, but still pushing the culture forward.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, I think at this point, I fired off all of my questions. I am going to leave the floor open to anybody that has any questions. Feel free to fire off any questions that you might have for Shakera about Carnival Spice. We'll see if we got any questions. Let me go ahead and scroll up and see. I think the only question that I did catch was about, clarifying what exactly Carnival Spice is.
I'll even repeat that. So Carnival Spice offers 3 primary services. Our entertainment showcases, either through dance performance or promotional modeling, that involves the performers coming to an event in costume and doing the thing. Or now virtually, we do live performances on air, and it's streamed to our clients or audiences that have booked. We also offer Caribbean dance fitness programming. That's kind of elevated now to our primary offering. Look at how the world works. And through that, we offer 3 different class types. We have Caribbean dance cardio, which is more engaging for the full body, get your heart rate up to the sounds of all the soca and dancehall that we love. We have tone and ting that focuses more on tightening and toning the body, more resistance training and body weight. And then we have carnival choreography, where you actually learn dance moves to a song, whether it's soca or dancehall. So very different styles of classes. And, we're about to launch, this is an announcement, we're about to launch our Spice On Demand classes, where you can access the workouts or the dance programming from the comfort of your own home on your own schedule. So no live classes with that. But it's just making it more accessible for everybody, because that has been the ask, especially now with lockdowns. And in Toronto, for example, we have all of our gyms have been closed for a few months now. So really, people are looking for outlets to sweat, to focus on self-care, to connect with culture, to connect with other people. And, we've been really doing a lot of work in keeping the connection going between our Spice fam.
Nice. So earlier, Queen Bee Line Dance Fitness says that she is manifesting being part of one of your teams. How does someone get to be part of this Carnival Spice family?
Yeah, for sure. Well, we do, for the performance part, we typically do auditions every year. And those are great. We get fresh faces, and we get to just engage. We are transitioning how we're going to be putting that out coming for 2021 with the pandemic in mind, that we've had to adjust, pivot, as you said. We just gotta pivot. But typically we host annual auditions where everybody is welcome. It's a live event. You learn choreography, you have a freestyle moment, and then there's an interview, and our judges select the final team. I try to stay out of the judging part because there's no way for me to be impartial, especially if we have returning members coming back. And yeah, and just every year we just vibe. The team itself, we connect. I think that's another thing that I didn't really share, why we even have a Spice Fam community. After we did, like, we have performances and then we did the fitness side, we needed another space for our fitness community and clients and stuff like that to connect outside of the dance workouts or the time that we're in studios. So, you know, just for them to continue building those relationships. And we would just host meetups where all of our members can just come out and kick it, and or we'll support another Caribbean owned business and like buy out tickets for like a boat ride in the neighborhood or a brunch or something just for all of our members to go. And so we wanted to have a name that acknowledged those people that aren't particularly dancing for the company, but are part of the family. So that's how the Spice Fam came about. And now that we have like a global audience, it's a virtual community, a global community, because we meet people from all over, and we hang out in our Facebook group now. We just make, you know, run jokes, share information, updates, meet on our Zoom classes. So lots of moving parts. I'm super grateful. And if you're just learning about Carnival Spice, welcome. If you've been a supporter all this time, thank you. It's felt, it motivates us. We offered a lot of, you know, free offerings throughout COVID just to really keep people engaged and their spirits up. So, you know, a lot of people sent donations. So that was really a blessing because they didn't have to. And, you know, a lot of our projects are self-funded, but we're transitioning into more processes, more projects, and more support. So yes, continue to amplify. It's so important. But we'll continue to do this great work over here.
Nice. So what's next for Carnival Spice? What do you guys have brewing in 2021? Anything going on for 2022?
2022 too far. We're
okay. So I'm a planner. I'm a Virgo.
But,
like I'm already thinking about a year in advance.
It's really hard, right? Because like for us in Toronto, because I know where you're at and we're at, like the rules are completely different. Like our countries have completely different rules, but even just like my province, Ontario, has different rules than other provinces in Canada. So just our flexibility is very limited. We don't really want to make plans so far out because it could just change with the drop of a hat, you know. Like for example, our 7-year birthday party, we had booked the studio, the food, everything. Like we were ready to party. We had everyone's tickets were bought. We were expecting like hundreds of people, and then
COVID.
So, you know, that grief, it doesn't just go away quickly. So we're very gentle with our event planning and processes, but we do have a lot of resources, online resources coming out that they're pre-shot, ready to go, edited, all that good stuff to help support the Soca on Demand classes. I guess I'll give an exclusive. We're going to be dropping a Soca dance alphabet. Again, really trying.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
It's actually like I teared up at the end, not gonna lie. I teared up when I saw it. I was like, yo, this has been in my head for like 2 years, and here we are. Just to really, again, define Soca dance culture, which is still a baby. Like the genre of Soca music is a baby. That's a whole other beast conversation, but we'll focus more on the dance because that's our element. Just really adding more validity to the style and knowledge to the style publicly, because such document or resource doesn't exist publicly. And we have it coming, so look out for that. We're going to continue putting out concept videos for our dance choreographies. That's just something for our creative juices. For me, on a choreography level, I love creating. I love seeing the mass move. We can't move on the road, so we'll create some great stuff for you all to just enjoy and share in the culture. And that's about it for now. continuing. We teach kids programs, so we're just, you know, working throughout the schools. We just finished Black History Month, so that was a joy. We ran a whole bunch of like virtual programming for the kiddies and just seeing them engage through the screen. We were a little bit nervous because, you know, in person, you can wrangle and be like, hey, keep it down, or hands up, or get them excited. Like, you feel like you're at a concert when you do these like school assemblies, for example. So we weren't too sure how that would translate to virtual, and it really was awesome. We missed seeing them in person, but on the screens you see their little bodies just going at it, and just, it was like so beautiful. And so we did a couple of that. So we're gonna take it easy for a couple of weeks. March is like a time to just wind down. You have Soca on demand classes available. Our birthday party, we're definitely going to do an online class of some sort. But yeah, just always moving, always rolling. We're available for private bookings if folks want to just have a girls' night, bachelorette party. Those are available. And yeah, the performance bookings.
Great. So I got one last question.
Yeah.
This is the last question. My question is, what is Carnival to you?
Ooh.
Yes.
Carnival to me, Shakera Martin, is like,
yes.
I'm my ethnicity, you asked me this earlier. I'm Jamaican Canadian, right? When I grew up, there was no carnival. It was the reggae float, or the reggae truck, we call it back in the day, at Caravana. There was no mask. You don't put on costumes. You just go to the parade to just see your friend and them, right? When I was introduced to it my first time, I was hooked. I was in 2007, not even that long ago. 2007 was the first time I played mass, and I was just like, how do I do this all the time? And that's essentially over time how Carnival Spice came about in 2013. It was just that the burning desire to just keep Carnival in my life. It keeps me excited. It makes me feel free. It excites me. I'm able to incorporate my dance background and just live. It now has provided opportunity for so many amazing people. It provides space for people to just come and be themselves.
Yes.
Wow, like why wouldn't you love it, you know?
Who doesn't love Carnival?
And that's why I feel like we're hurting right now. We're hurting right
now.
Like, I live
I'm getting teary-eyed just thinking about it. Yeah, I just girl.
Oh my God, I cried my first time in Trinidad, but we're not gonna talk about that. But like, we're hurting right now, not even just for the people think, you know, it's fun and you just walking up and da-da-da. Sure, again, that happens. That is a very huge part of it. But it's so much deeper than that. It's so much deeper. Like how we feel, the preparation. Forget even the road. The road. The preparation, the hair, the nails, the costume selection, like that prep, that excitement, just picking it out and hitting up your friends, your crew, and getting everyone together. And even me, who again lives Carnival 360, I still can't shake that experience off. Like the actual parade day is just next level. And we're in Toronto, where, you know, our route isn't as defined as the Caribbean. Unfortunately, that's a downside, but they're working on it. You know, they're working on it. But even still, it's our carnival. Toronto is our carnival, so we make the best of it. We still, again, go there, see our peoples. You know, you're gonna see your friend from high school, or your ex-man, or your cousin's sister, and in its vibes, right? It's just something to look forward to every year, and it's really missed. Not gonna lie, we definitely been able to recreate the experience, but the actual festival or parade is just, it's
nothing replaces it. Not the virtual stuff. Nothing will ever replace that energy. Just feeling the vibes coming off the truck. Sun, feathers, colors, the energy. Girl.
But you know what I miss? Getting the suntans through my costume, like the holes from the costume, like little things like that I miss.
Yes. The simple things.
The vacuum truck.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, Shakera, for coming on. I hope we get to do this again. I'll definitely be watching. I will definitely be watching.
Can I send some love to you?
Yes, receiving. Thank you.
All the amazing things that you're doing.
I appreciate it.
What a WM has a
Yes.
story, even have a name change, you know,
You
you're doing
definitely need to
the
link
work.
up. Yes,
And this
thank
is
you.
important, like more of this, you know,
Yeah.
collaboration, connection, whether we have the tools, you know what I mean? We have the resources. We need to support one another, share stuff, tell each other, talk about each other when we're not in the same rooms. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And really promote our people of color in particular. I know Carnival welcomes everyone, but it's so important to just highlight the artists as well and the talent from the Caribbean, because you know there was a lot of backlash with folks not being from the culture, and what is it, not tokenizing,
Um, what's that
culture
word?
vulturing and all of that.
Yo, girl,
That's a
that's
whole
another
other,
topic. We're gonna need another
it's
live
a
interview for
whole
that.
beast, right? But that happens, and like just get that on record. That happens because you
Yeah,
know we're not supporting our people enough. You know,
that's
people
true.
that are creating these ideas and building the mass, and you know, starting the dance movements, creating these dance moves, and making the music. Like we really need to support these folks now more than ever, because I could speak for myself. It gets discouraging some days, you know.
Hmm.
We're down and out too. Like we feel sad. We're missing Carnival, but we're also missing the real time experiences of doing what we love with people, engaging with people. Like that's what we live for: the connection, the laugh, the whys, and the and like we miss
Oh my
that,
God,
you know. And
yes.
we
Oh my
can
God.
try to create it. Like for us, we teach dance classes. We have to create that energy for the people that come and experience it with us. But we miss it ourselves, you know. So giving us energy and supporting what we're doing, and all, you know, all the stuff that we put out, liking, sharing, buying classes, donating, like all of those come together to really help us feel encouraged and to do more and to create more.
Yes.
So I want to send that to you because I see what you're doing, and I'm
Thank you.
so proud of you, and
Send you guys all the vibes too.
yeah.
Yes. All right. Well, I will definitely be in touch. I'll send you an email when we get off here. So I'm gonna close this out. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So do you hang up? Can you hang up over there or
I think
disconnect, or do I have to
you
kick you
could
off?
you disconnect me so that I don't close your live, because if I disconnect, everything shuts down. Bye
Um,
y'all.
Bye. Okay, well, I'm just gonna close this. Thank you guys for joining me for my very first IG live AWM spotlight interview. I actually kind of like this format better than the blog format, because I don't have 10,000 followers, and so the whole swipe is not going to be activated, so people don't read my blog that
Soon.
much
I
anyway.
speak
I
that into
hate that.
existence soon.
Please.
Soon.
But meanwhile, this was amazing, because I really want everybody to be able to experience the energy and the vibe, and sometimes you just don't get that from reading a blog. So if you actually came into the room to listen to us both speak, we are truly honored and grateful for your time. And with that, be a decent human being, wash your hands, wear your mask, wear your seatbelt, and we will talk later.